Look at me. Look at how cute I am. Look at me taking up the table. Look how amazing I am. I am a year old. I'm a year old this week. It's my birthday week. That's right. It's me. It's Steve. And it's my birthday week, which means you all have to subscribe to my dad's YouTube channel. Because otherwise I'll do something like look cute. Look at me. I'm blinking. I'm cute. What's up, nerds? It's your boy, and it's Steve's birthday week. So you need to, think about the poor cat here. Look at him. He's just wasting away. And think about what you want to get my buddy for his birthday week. And that would be subscribing to my blog. Because, YouTube subscribes make great presents for cats. It is Friday. No, it's Monday. It's Wednesday. I have no freaking clue it is. I got no sleep last night. Because apparently there's coyotes. And then I got a bunch of weird phone calls this morning from Lashanya. So that was bizarre. But now it is 8:30 in the morning. It is the 31st day of July in the year of our Lord Steve the Cat. It is the beginning of Steve's birthday week and my birthday because Steve was a birthday present. Yes, you were, buddy. Yes, you were. It is also Monday, which means it's time to take a look at the tabletop role-playing game Freebies, charities, and of course, bundles. Yep, bundles. And you may sense a theme in this week's bundles because a certain holiday is officially only a few weeks away. That's right. August, September, October, Midsummer Scream was over the weekend. The summer haunt season has officially begun. So you might notice some Halloween spooky themed adventures. And the two standouts this week are there's a index card role-playing game sale bundle up from Hank over at Roothammer. And there's a bundle of me, the OGGM. All my stuff that I've made over the past year is on sale on Big Geek Emporium for $1 each. So that's something to check out. All right, let's go. Yes, Steve, I know your toy broke and it's in the trash. I'm sorry, but you got a new one. Apparently the new one isn't good enough for you because no, cat. I'm a cat. I need the old toy, even though it broke. There, go play with that. I don't want that. I want something else. Because I'm spoiled. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of me talking to Steve this week, so just appreciate it. It's his birthday. He's cute. And yeah, I don't know what this is. Okay, starting with drive-through. Apparently, drive-through has done something dumb again in regards to AI art and AI writing, and people are upset about it. There's links to videos talking about it, but in the video, the person is not actually talking about what it is drive-through said. So I'm waiting to try and find a link to the actual article that everybody's upset about. I assume it is that drive-through has said you cannot use AI art anymore because reasons. And which I don't understand the AI. I understand the chat AI to write games one. But apparently everything that people have tried to get chat AI to write and then pass off as adventures has been absolutely awful. And it's pretty obvious that it was not written by anybody who actually understood the game. So I still don't think that's much of a threat. But apparently drive-through is cracking down on that. Maybe. I don't know. I'm waiting to try and find more information before I go half-cocked on that one. But the AI art one, I think we all know about that one, which sucks because for those of us who can't draw and can't find an artist, it's like, okay, so I can't use AI art anymore. I guess I can use free use clip art and I could draw stick figures. Anyways, over in drive-through, we have a one-page RPG called Welcome to Eldoreth Express, a pulpy occult horror game set on a supernatural mystery train. Trains are always fun. Doesn't say who this is by. It is from Measured Descent Games, actually. I swear this guy's writing is getting harder and harder to follow with each week. There's another one on drive-through for Cyborg called The Devil with Long Ears, and that comes to us from an individual who wants to be known as Azeroth Nell Toll. Pretty sure that is not the name your parents gave you when you were born, but if it is, awesome, because it means they're huge fans of the Teen Titans. This is a murder mystery adventure inspired by the myth, some urban legends. Also, the same individual has released another adventure for Cyborg called the Cold Storage Club. This is about punk rock bands in the world of Cyborg. A punk rock band in cyberpunk is, I mean, yeah. You know who's going to, you know, the bands that are going to stand out in a cyberpunk are the bands that aren't punk rock. Because if everybody in the cyberpunk is punk rock, the one band that's not punk rock is the one that's going to be standing out. We have a third from Azeroth No Tell. This one is called The Greenhouse Pact. It's a science fiction horror adventure for the Death in Space setting. If you remember, we reviewed Death in Space earlier this year and was like, it's awful. Paul Teen Dean has released an adventure called The Unbroken City for Shadowdark RPG. Shadowdark getting a lot of love right now because of its free open source rules and because it's an easy system to write adventures for. And it is very clear and concise, and it's got a lot of great stuff that has been cobbled together, of course, because, I mean, you know, if there's one winner that came out of the January OSR Manic Panic, it's Kelsey and Shadowdark. So you keep going, girl. Ninth Level Games has released an anthology of short tabletop role-playing games. A lot of these are part of the free RPG feature. Excuse me. Which I think is this thing here. So I believe it's a collection of the short anthology RPGs that were part of a contest. Those all went into a zine, and then that zine was put out for RPG Day. And now for people who weren't able to go to free RPG, they can get this thing. And apparently this thing was one of the best things to get from free RPG Day, the Level 1 2023 anthology of short tabletop role-playing games. Then we have from Javelin Arc, something called Fate Point Casino, a high-stakes supplement for Fate-based games. It adds a new simple gambling mechanic to Fate to stimulate the action of a casino. Or you could just, play normal casino games while you're playing Fate. Instead of rules to simulate casino games, rolling dice, you could just roll the dice. I don't know. You've all heard my story of Fate. If you haven't, well, story season is coming up, so we can tell it again. It's a very, very weird game, Fate. Glitzy Knight has released something called The Last Gas Station, which is an atmospheric horror about being broken down on Route 66, and the only source of light is a gas station in any direction. And this is based upon a picture that was floating around earlier this year about a gas station in the middle of the dark, in the middle of Route 66 with just one car in it, and it's the only source of light in any direction. And the question is, would you spend the night? So yeah, a little love for Route 66 in the tabletop role-playing game. And then you'll notice again, horror. Lord Zez, obviously not Lord Zed. Lord Zez has released something called Dungeon X-Line. It is a 3D printed columns and 2D printed walls and floors for card stacks that allows you with a realistic setting with minimal painting. Since you're downloading software there, check it for viruses. Then we have another thrilling horror thing called The Treasure of Cutlass K. This comes to us from Stephen Gibbs, and this is for Pirate Borg. This is a free adventure about you being on a boat in the ocean and horrible, thrilling things happen because it's Midsummer Scream. Zcoin released Wild Ride, a vehicular combat game set in the world where the 10 mega corporations rule the wasteland, each producing their own line of battle-ready vehicles. So it's Car Wars. And it's perfect timing since the Twisted Metal series is available on the Paramount channel and is apparently getting a lot of good. Is it Paramount? It's one of the channels. I don't know. There's a Twisted Metal series. It's got Samoa Joe playing the clown. God, allergies today. Fishweiss Games has released something called Asteroid Belt Report, which features 4 detailed asteroids, possibly even based upon real asteroids. I don't know. I mean, if you're information on real asteroids that we've discovered is you can find that. It's on the web. I mean, it's it's all in like Science-ese. So, color variance and molecular density compounds and quarks. But hey, maybe this person actually did some research on actual asteroids to write this book. So if we actually learn something from it, great. It's called Asteroid Belt Report. It's free on drive-through and features information on asteroids that you could then co-opt for any type of sci-fi space game that would involve asteroids. We've got a Pathfinder 2nd Edition adventure from Scott Aker called Ghouls Are Creepy. I would have called it like Ghouls Are Icky, as a play on Girls on Icky, or Ghouls Gone Wild, or something like that. But sure, Ghouls Are Creepy. It is a source book featuring ghouls. I do like ghouls. They are definitely zombies are probably the number one favorite, but ghouls run a close second. And you've all heard my argument every Halloween that the things we see in every horror movie that we call zombies are ghouls, not zombies. So this guy has written an adventure about ghouls because it's Midsummer Scream. Meanwhile, over at Dungeon Masters Guild, of course, Future in Doubt. As you remember, I did speak to the local representative for the Adventurers League about the future of Dungeon Masters Guild, and the general consensus is it's probably not great. Dungeon Masters Guild has decided to host some, I'm not going to, biblically inspired adventure called The Pigs of Gargasa, based upon the story of Mark 5.120. It is written for true youth camps to play D&D, but to play biblically appropriate D&D, because the Satanic Panic isn't something we need to bring up again. No. And that's available on drive-thru. Over at DM's Guild, we also have a Revelations from the Mists, an expansion for Curse of Strahd, with several new Ravenloft-themed side quests, again, because it's Midsummer Scream. Sewage Orc has brought us a one-page adventure called the Carnival of Misfits, about a group of goblins who pretend that they're a carnival in order to rob people. Because, yes, goblins are always fun. That might sound really, really, really familiar to people who've been, around for a while. And that's because that was also the plot of Pathfinder's very first Weeby Goblins adventure. So whether intentionally or collective unconsciousness, Sewage Orc has released an adventure that's pretty much similar to Weeby Goblins #1, and a spooky carnival in the forest. Because again, it's Midsummer Scream. Over at the Storyteller's Vault aspect of DM's Guild, we have a new campaign setting for Vampire the Masquerade, Demon the Fallen. This is called Enox, a Paradise of Heresies. It's a collection of islands where people are worshipped as angels, even if they're like vampires and monsters and things like that. So, yes, and this is for Vampire the Masquerade / Demon the Fallen, and it's a horror island alternate history for the world of that White Wolf, because, again, it's Midsummer Scream. And then we have this week's DM's Guild new subclasses, all of which will be pointless in a few months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 new subclasses for your favorite D&D classes. These are available on DM's Guild. As always, there's right there. There's on the right side for me. You'll see a list of all the different companies that produce stuff. At the very bottom, you'll see a big red button that says free. Click that. It goes directly to the link to all the things I have just listed. But remember, these are all PDFs. So before you download and install anything, please check them for viruses and malware. Moving on to this week's bundles. We have the Christmas in July sale ending today. In fact, it might already be gone because, again, Drive-Thru has decided to do something weird. But this was 76,938 titles of varying locations and sources, all marked down up to 25%. It could be over, which is why I didn't include the link. And yes, Christmas in July is over, it says. But is it really? Because there's still a whole bunch of stuff marked down under $5. So I don't know. I mean, maybe you took down the link, but it doesn't look like the stuff is actually marked down yet. So sneak on over and see if you can still pick up some of these amazing deals. And there, in regards to the latest drive-through controversy, there is nothing here linking about it. So we'll hopefully find out more about that. Darker Hue Studios has including their sale for Haunted West and Harlem Unbound. If you go to Darker West Studios, enter the code word summertime, one word, SUMMERTIME. You can get 40% off on their Weird West game, Haunted West, and their 1970s exploitation game, Harlem Unbound. There's an OSR game called Goblins and Gargoyles that is doing a huge bundle to get itself out there. Rather than basing itself on Dungeons and Dragons, though, this one draws its inspiration from Tunnels and Trolls, Dragon Warriors, and Fighting Fantasy. So it has rules for both multiplayer and single player, and it's a 2d10 plus resolution system as opposed to a d20 resolution system. This is $18 for this bundle, and it gets you 4 different things set in the worlds of Goblins and Gargoyles. And then there's a sub bundle for that bundle called Goblins and Gargoyles Adventures Begin, with 4 basic and 2 expert adventures that can be used together in the world of Goblins and Gargoyles. And that's $8. And then it's also on Drive-Thru, who I think we're angry at, but I'm not sure. And then there's a bundle of 5e one-shots, all inspired by other 5es. Like there's something called Dragon Egg Heist is one of the one-shots. It's no way, shape, and form based upon Dragon Heist, which was about people stealing a dragon egg in Waterdeep. No. Escape from the Underworld? No. What? No. What? Out of the Abyss? Escape? You're not even trying, dude. Anyways, that's $4. Charity bundles. We have the continuing growing Cursed Keep of Briarwood Village bundle. This is to help pay for the funeral expenses and medical expenses for the creator whose child passed away. So this is definitely one of those charities when I would say just go directly to the GoFundMe. And if you want to support this guy's funeral expenses and help him dealing with his grief, do it directly through the GoFundMe and not through the charity bundle. There's the continuing growing Like a Boss Book of Boss Encounters is still available for $15. That's going to cover the medical expenses for our friend Owen Casey Steffens. So this is this project of people who are continuing to submit to this Like a Boss Book of Boss Encounters monster manual dungeon thing from creators from all over the gaming world, from Pathfinder to Cypher, all of whom have had some connection with Owen. Again, this would be one where I would say go directly to Owen's GoFundMe and just, if you want to support him dealing with the medical expenses for his cancer treatments, just do it directly through the GoFundMe. Hank is doing an index card RPG bundle. This concludes a whole bunch of stuff for the award-winning, highly regarded index card RPG. And this is direct relief. $10 gets you everything that's ever been written for index card, the least we know of, plus some expansions for it. And and Hank's got a new game coming out. So index card RPG, definitely, even if you don't like the system, it's got a lot of great ideas and a lot of great tables in there. So it's just definitely one of those great utility games that even if you never ever play, you can take stuff from. And then there's the Root role-playing game bundle is still going on. As you know, I am a big fan of Root, the board game. It's one of the few board games I've ever won. There is a Root role-playing game. It's definitely anthropomorphic animal, comfy role-playing, Miyazaki-inspired. Your animals that are also humanoid, and you're out doing anthropomorphic animal things like stealing honey and stuff like that. It's a great game. I highly recommend it. And I assume the role-playing game is just as good, if not better. This is at $15. Today is the last day, and it's direct relief. Then we have a huge Baldur's Gate and Beyond inspired bundle from Active Minds. It's $12. It goes to support youth literacy programs. And it's got everything, including Planescape, that has ever been written in and around the Baldur's Gate 1 and Baldur's Gate 2 campaigns. So if you grew up like us on the Baldur's Gate video game, then this might be for you. It also has some Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous stuff in there. So for $12, yeah, you get a lot of older video games. These are video games, which means you will be installing software. So please check these for, what is the word I'm looking for? Malware. Then we have a Bethesda. How do you know, the video game company. They've got a list of files of stuff based upon their content that has been converted over to role-playing shit to use for 3D printer files, which means a lot of stuff for Fallout, because Bethesda or however you pronounce it. God, I am out of it this morning. Sleep is a good thing, boys and girls. Make sure you get some. Yeah, so we've got Fallout and the Fallout role-playing game. We've got Dishonored and the Dishonored role-playing game. And then we've got 3D game files included for each of the games in that series. So, and this goes to support the International Rescue Committee. No, not the Thunderbirds, the actual International Rescue Community. And that's a charity that, take care of firefighters and veterans who have, lost their jobs and stuff like that. I think. Who knows? But it's a charity. So because this is STL files, viruses. And speaking of STL files, we've got a $25 bundle with a whole bunch of sci-fi themed miniatures for your 3D printer of choice. 140 total, including terrain, vehicles, appliances, plants, fungus, spices, generators, and these would be perfect for any indoor or outdoor or vaguely futuristic science fantasy-ish spacey type thing like Cyberpunk or Blade Runner or whatever. But again, these are STL files, so check it for viruses. Then we've got the multi-tiered, huge $65 bundle that is going to support Army and Navy veteran relief charities, called the Classic Sword and Sorcery OSR Tabletop Role-Playing Game Bundle, including, if you do the $65 mark, an actual physical thing. So this is one of the few times that if you pay the highest tier, they will send you an actual book of monsters. So it's a 580-page monster manual filled with OSR, basic, and BS type OGL monsters of stuff. Or you could just go get my books of monsters that are $1 each. I'm just saying. And that puzzle bundle is still up, and this goes to support Active Minds, another literacy type charity. This is books on puzzle design, board game design, stuff like that. So if you're ever running a game and you want to have some ideas for like puzzles and stuff like that, there's a huge bundle for $18. It's got all sorts of books on like game design and game theory and meta gaming, and like how to build a puzzle that isn't boring in a role-playing game. Or you could just donate directly to child literacy charities. As always, with the bundles, check them for viruses. So I've already said which ones I think stand out. Obviously, my bundle stands out the most because it's my stuff. And it's $1 each. And August 4th will be the last day my stuff is available on Big Geek Emporium. So if you haven't picked up the Minions on a Mission collection by me, you can go to Big Geek Emporium, pick it up, support Steve's birthday, and that's it. It is Monday. My brain is not working, so I'm going to sign off now before I do something else stupid. I'll talk to you all later. Have a great day. Stay safe, fly low, and avoid the radar or something. And buy my merch.